Om Sri Sai Ram. Sri Ganesha, Sri Ganesha, Sri Ganesha Pahi Mam. Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha Rakshamam. Sri Ganesha Pahi Mam, Jaya Ganesha Rakshamam. Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha Rakshamam. Sri Ganesha, Sri Ganesha, Sri Ganesha Pahi Mam. Om Sri Sai Ram. So, to continue with the introduction of his game, me and Mr. Gopadwani uncle, we both went across the road to this gentleman's house to witness, which was incredible. The materialization of Vibhuti from a photograph of Satya Sai Baba. When we entered his house, this gentleman was having his evening tiffin, and he appeared to be very sattvic, noble, from some other world. He was not of this world, as if. So Mr. Gopadwani uncle introduced me as son of Man Thakur. As soon as he heard my father's name, he got up and he said, please, please come. Come inside, be comfortable. You are my friend's son, come. So Gop uncle told him, we have just come to witness the materialization of Vibhuti from the photograph. He said, yes, yes, I will show you, I'll take you to my puja room. I'll just go and wash my hands and be with you. So he went inside his washroom to wash his hands and whatever. So I was in great hurry and I was feeling so anxious. I just looked around and saw that there was a mandir like, and because there was a bell on the top of a door. So I just entered the room and I wanted to see for myself before. I had no patience to wait for him. But as soon as I put my foot inside, I heard the bell on the top, it rang without my touching it. But I ignored this and went right inside his puja room. But as soon as I entered and the bell rang, this gentleman hurriedly came towards me and he said, who entered my room first? Mr. Gopadwani was still outside the room. I said, uncle, me. I came, I'm sorry. I just could not wait to see this miracle, as Gop uncle told me. He said, that's okay, that's fine. But let me tell you, even before you look at the picture and the vibhuti, Swami has accepted you. Now this word Swami itself was a strange thing for me to hear. And he said, whosoever enters this mandir and if the bell rings, that means Swami has accepted that person as his own. This did not impress me. It actually frightened me. Something is going around which is not normal. But nevertheless, I continued with my request. I said, uncle, could you please show me what is to be shown? So he showed me his small puja room. In that there were many photographs of many gods, but in the front there was a small framed photograph with glass, and he said, uh, look at this. This is the vibhuti that has materialized inside the glass. I saw the vibhuti, pinch of vibhuti, inside the glass. I saw it, it was very clear. But that was not miracle for me. For me, the miracle, the real miracle was that what he was claiming to be picture of Satya Sai Baba, whom I had never seen, I saw my Krishna, picture of my Krishna, which I used to see every day in my book on the cover page of Bhagavad Gita with flute and everything. It was so clear. I said, Uncle, this is Krishna. I see this every day. He said, no, beta. So now he took the picture in his hand, which I think normally he would not. He took the entire frame in his hand. He said, you hold it and see it clearly. This is our Satya Sai Baba. So I took it in my hand near my eyes, and of course I saw what he said was Satya Sai Baba. But that vision of Krishna instantly removed the fear of unknown from my mind. This is his ways. I was all the time feeling afraid of getting involved in this out of fear of unknown. Who is this Baba? Who is this Swami? What vibhuti? What materialization? Because these things were, this vocabulary was not used in our house or in our college, Jai Hind College. I did my inter-science in Mumbai. So such things were never heard. So I was literally fearful. Maybe I was being trapped into something which is not my cup of tea. But this vision of Krishna removed that fear of unknown from my mind instantly, once for all. Now I could relate to this picture, this God, as my own. But again, my mind refused to accept this completely. And this uncle went on to say this picture was materialized by Swami just previous month, when a group of about 47 devotees from Ulhasnagar and Mumbai had gone to Puttaparthi, and Swami called them for interview. And in the end of the interview, Swami materialized a bunch of pictures, exact 47. And the best part of this was the pictures were as fresh and wet as if directly coming from the studio after development. Those days, this latest technology was not there. And exact number 47. So he gave one to each. And this person got it framed in Ulhasnagar with a glass, the steel frame. And from within the frame, behind the glass, inside the frame, the vibhuti pinches started appearing, because he was conducting his bhajan and sadhana every day. And on Thursdays, especially, the vibhuti would come. So this was a Thursday and there was a vibhuti. We could not touch the vibhuti because it was inside the frame. It was upon the photograph. But all these explanations didn't convince me fully, though I had no reason to doubt the credibility of the person or the explanation. I thought I had no authority. In fact, it was beyond my understanding. And what is beyond my understanding, I had no right to even doubt or argue upon. But I could not accept it either because this was not my language. This was not probably my game. So, but I didn't utter a word. I very respectfully took his blessings and took his leave. And I told uncle, please, I'm not in proper state of mind to discuss this. I just sent Deepak, and I'll come to your house next time to. He said, fine. He understood. He's a very mature person. He understood. So I came back. We had our show, and I was so much unsure of what all I saw. I did not discuss this even with my brothers. We all were friends, like my brother's elder brother, my younger brother. But yet, I did not find it appropriate to discuss, which was not yet clear in my mind. So I just tried to forget it. We had our show, our party, drinks, and what we enjoyed it. And around 3:30 we went to bed to sleep off, normally as we do. But the game has started, and this God would not leave anything unfinished. Maybe around 5 o'clock or so, he appears in my dream. In my vision. This was my first dream. Normally, we see so many dreams and we don't even remember them. They are like passing clouds. We never care to even recollect them. But now we know Swami's dreams are a reality. And his dreams can be recollected and remembered and reflashed like even after 100 years. Because he appears in your consciousness. He appears as your consciousness. And I see his beautiful form with curly hair, like cloud surrounding. And he showed me the top of his mandir, Prashanti Nilayam, which I had never seen before, which later I confirmed when I went there. Entire beautiful mandir, and upon that mandir in the sky is with cloudy dark air. He tells me, come to Puttaparthi. Come to Puttaparthi. Twice. When I get up in the morning, our morning means around 10 o'clock, I go to my father's room. My father was my best friend. He loved me intensely, immensely. I was his favorite. Though I was number 2, but I was his favorite. We were like friends. I could talk to him anything and everything. So I told him about this, my meeting with his friend Anandani, and then the dream. He was very happy that I met Mr. Anandani. He said he is a gentleman. His credibility cannot be doubted. He is an honest, upright person. So whatever you have seen has to be true. At least he would not do any mischief on that. No ways. But he was little uncomfortable for that dream part of it. Come to Puttaparthi. He said, what this? He could not even pronounce Puttaparthi. What this Madras name, South India? Okay, he has appeared in your dream, as you say, Dream is, after all, a dream. Dreams don't deliver. I said, Father, but normally we don't, even you also would agree that we don't remember, recollect. But this dream is so vivid in my mind. Even now I feel that I have seen it just in this moment. I can't brush it aside like that. And after seeing what I saw in your friend's house, there has to be something. It is not an ordinary situation. He said, okay, fine. Now he wanted to close this argument. He was can't win over with him. Even the greatest lawyer would not be able to do. He was very convincing. He said, okay, fine. So this Swami, God, Baba, he wants you to come to some place called Puttaparthi in South India. And if he has that divine power, as you say, and which I believe, so he needs your presence there, and he should know then that I am not going to leave you to go to this unknown place. We have nobody there. I would not allow you to go alone. If he is so much interested and if he actually wants you to come to Puttaparthi, so he should send somebody to take you to Puttaparthi. Again, as a gentleman, I didn't want to push this argument further. I saw logic into it. And I was also not 100% sure of the dream part of it because it was my first experience. In my heart, I knew that it was a divine call, but I could not authenticate this experience with anything from my own previous experience. So I had to give it up. I said, fine. So we left it and we started having our cup of tea and reading newspaper. When suddenly my father had a look from his western window across the municipal huge garden, which had a small road at that point in time. Now it is a huge thing, as it is called Sapna Gardens now. Sapna Talkies is our theatre. So he saw one gentleman coming across the garden towards our house. So he immediately came to balcony and he recognized him. He said, hey, Mr. Bijlani, Mr. Bijlani. And that gentleman also from across the road, oh, Manulal, Manulal. And my father said, Harish, go down immediately and bring this gentleman. He is my friend. So I rushed and got this gentleman respectfully in presence of my father. He sat down. It seems met after 25-30 years after the partition. Both were old friends. So my father said, wow, we come after so many years, and all the introductory. I was busy reading my newspaper just because they were talking among themselves about their college days. So my father said, now tell me, what will you have? He said, actually I had my breakfast, but we have met after such long time, a cup of tea would do. He said, no way. We have to celebrate it. And my father had a agency of Mohan Meekins. So in our house, beer and wine was served more lavishly than milk. So he said, now we'll have one small. He said, I can't even look at it. Forget taking it. Look at this ring. This ring is given to me by Satya Sai Baba. When I heard the name Satya Sai Baba, immediately I kept aside my newspaper and full attention on what he was going to say. He said, I have been to Puttaparthi last month with my wife, with my family, and my wife complained to him about me that I drink every night and then even physically assault her and abuse her. And Baba took me by my collar and he thrashed me left and right. He said, "From today, if you do this, be careful." Then I cried and touched his feet. I, "Swami, you have to bless me. I can't leave this." So, this being compassionate God, he said, "Don't worry, I'll bless you." He materialized this ring for me with his portrait, but he warned me, "I'm giving you this blessing, this protection, but if you even touch wine, this ring will come back